Yeah, welcome to the Spying and Gathering Intel class. We're going to be covering a whole lot of stuff. This is going to be recorded as well. The recording is running at the moment. It's basically just going to cover like gathering intel as a whole. A lot of people just play the game, doing missions and mining, etc., etc. But there's also people that keep close eyes on all the people that are ratting and mining and hauling and PvPing, and there's even people infiltrating alliances and sharing intel or going up into high places and then disbanding complete groups and stuff like that. That's all part of the game too. It's all allowed. So we're gonna touch on a variety of subjects. Um, so I pretty much put it in like segments. So we're gonna cover haulers, miners, miners and moons, because you can also just gather intel on the moon as an object, which is really nice. You know, um, Mission and incursion runners. I know there's a lot of incursion runners in Eve rookies. I apologize beforehand, but I'm gonna go into a little bit of detail how that you can hunt for incursion runners, and also getting intel on structures, what they're fit like, what their reinforcement timers are, stuff like that. And then, of course, the majorly popular segment of you want to infiltrate like a Nullsec Alliance and you want to fly under the radar and you want to extract information that will benefit your group and then maybe even, do it undetected. I won't be able to go into too much detail because that would, but I'll share at least a fair share of stuff on that too. So let's just go into some low level stuff. Um, Haulers. Why would we want information on haulers? Well, there's a lot of people in high sec that like to gank other people. They just want to shoot them, gather the loot, sell it, or use it, or whatever, or they just want to have like a really juicy kill mill. So how they do that is, well, they don't specifically use a ship like this, but just any ship with like scanning equipment. And there's a couple items in game like this really nice this cargo scanner, which does exactly what it says. It scans the cargo hold. We'll do that in a little bit too. And you got this ship scanner now. So the ship scanner is not really um, interesting for hunting down haulers. Ship scanner just scans for the fitting of the ship, while hauler is just it's got some expanded cargo holds and that's it. But we want to know what's in it. So there's a lot of traffic going around in Eve. So you've got major trade ups like Jita and Amar. You've got Heck, and you've got a couple of others actually, and you've also got even player-owned structures that see high traffic. Um, and people move stuff from one location to the next, and there's over the years there are like fixed routes that people all use, and somebody will just sit on a gate and then you know scan another ship. So let me just show you how that looks like actually. You just you have a ship selected here. You've got to target it, and you just need to you know uh, let the module do its thing. It's going to give you like uh, a portion of what's in it, because this is not all that's in the ship. It's like a random number generated thing. It'll see now I've got way more than it has scanned, and this is kind of what is in the ship as a whole. So there's a lot of segments in the Orca that I'm scanning at the moment. So there's heavy water, which is in the fuel bay of the Orca. This is in the drone bay. Um, the strip miner is in the fleet hangar. This is just in a normal cargo hold. And then there should also be um, ships in here actually. And I think this probe is a fitted ship. If I check it, let me check that real quick. Yep, the probe that shows up as a one is in the ship maintenance bay. So if I use this module, it's just gonna scan the entire thing. It's not gonna tell me where it is, or it's just gonna give me that, and it's gonna be like a random thing. So it you know could show me everything, could show me a portion, but it does like show like a rough estimate of what it is. So this is not really worth a whole lot. The Orca is worth a lot, so that could be a valid target. But cargo wise, not really that interesting. So Ganker would just look like, okay, this is an Orca. There's like 70 mil of worth of stuff in it. Nah, not worth the trouble of shooting it. And just, they'll just select something else. So if you're scanning multiple ships, you get multiple windows, which is really nice, of course. So if I scan this Praxis that is here, it's going to give me another list. Yeah, you see, so this is all in the Praxis. Um, I think if I scan it one more time, maybe I get even. Nah, it just kind of stays the same. So you can just do this legally in HiSec. I've got my safety on green at the moment. I can just scan these ships. There's no penalty. I don't go flashy or anything. There's no Concorde that comes flying in to kill me. So you can just do this, and you will see people do this. See if you fly from Jeddah to somewhere, there will be like people just hovering above the gate. Uh, they'll target you. You'll hear that. They'll target you. They'll use the scanning module and they'll send that intel to whoever is waiting somewhere a couple jumps ahead. Like, okay, there's a freighter coming in now. He's got like 3 billion-ish worth of stuff in his cargo. That's an interesting target. And if you already see that scanning ship, and you hear you hear that you're being targeted. So, well, and you see it too, actually. So if you see that, then take caution. So yeah, so that's yeah, how you can use that. Also, um, if there's characters that fly back and forth between trade hubs a whole lot of times, they'll probably write all that stuff down. So if you want to gang people, you should write the names of pilots down that have kill mails on them with lots of loot drops in them. So you can just go to Zkill, which is a really cool website, by the way. It's zkill.com. You can just go there. You can see all the in-game kill mails. So you can just filter on a freighter. Say for instance an obelisk, which is the Galente freighter. You just filter on obelisk, see how many obelisks have died, see where you can see where that they've died in high sec. Uh, what loot did they drop, and you can like make notes on that, and you can even, I don't know, maybe if somebody has a fixed hauling schedule, you can even plan for it. I don't know. So there's a lot of intel that you can gather up like that. So that's really good actually. And yeah, um, the ship scanning device is a good way to see how the Orca is fitted. So then you can calculate what you need to kill it. So if we're looking at this Orca at the moment, it doesn't really have a full. I don't think it's giving me a full fitting, but you can already see high power slots. Okay, it's got that. It's got a couple of these resist thingies, and if you just take this entire fitting and you put it in either the in-game fitting window or some external fitting tool, you can just calculate. Okay, this ship has this and that EHP. I need like hmm, I need like 5 Nagas to kill this. You can just calculate it like that, and then you can see how much the 5 Nagas are. You can scan how much the cargo of the Orca is. Then you can see, okay, 5 Nagas is I don't know, maybe 5 Nagas are worth like 1 billion ISK, and the Orca has 3 billion ISK worth of cargo. Okay, that's a good, maybe the loot fairy says no, or maybe the loot fairy says yes, and you get like 2 billion ISK worth of stuff in the loot drop, and then you lose 1 billion. That's the way these people make money, and sometimes it's just for fun. Also, don't try and autopilot an empty jump freighter through high sec, stuff like that. They'll just kill it for the fun of it. So don't do that. And they will report you as well, of course. That scout that's sitting there, he will scan it. He will say, okay, that's an empty jump freighter. No, no worries. No, we're gonna shoot you regardless because it's like an 11 bill kill mail. So, that's how you can do that, which is really cool. Um, miners. Well, miners don't really move around that much. Well, they move around, from one belt to the other. Maybe they'll move a lot of systems to go to a particular belt or moon or whatever. But they're generally speaking, they're faster, to warp off. They're just, hauling ships are sluggish, uh, an easier target. You want uh, to find these miners where they are mining, and that's going to be the interesting thing for you then. And how you can do that is just, go around systems using your D scan, which you can use by pressing the Alt plus D shortcut combo as default, and you can just, start scanning. And for now, there is no, you can set this stuff up the way you want. Just start using the D scan and just check where people are mining. At the moment, there's nobody mining, so you just go to the next system and you just use like an inconspicuous ship. Don't go there in like a beefy um, T3 cruiser or something like that, because you'll spook them. Just fly around, uh, try and see where they're at. And if you see like really expensive stuff like exhumers or something like a Mackinac or Hulk, and there's like 5 of them, then you could track them down. Don't use the um, what do you call it? The combat probes, because you'll spook them again. If a miner in high sec sees combat probes out, they won't be happy. Nobody will be happy if you put combat probes out. If people see them out in nullsec or low sec, they will switch to combat ships too. And in high sec, miners will just duck up. So just don't spook them. Um, and then if you find like where they are, you can just you could just go to like a mining belt. We're just gonna fly to one. Um,
Warp drive
there won't be any
active.
miners, but you can just fly to these from your overview. Use a cloak, of course, because you don't want them to see you fly in. Uh, okay, well, you can see like there's a couple of wrecks here. So people have been mining here. You could assume that they've been mining here, or they're just from people that come in here to kill the NPC ships to get some money. But there's a couple of wrecks here, so you can just look at them. You can even see who made the wreck if you go to the info window. It's this character. Uh, so you can kind of put tabs on people, like, okay, this person might be mining here. You could just look him up in the local window. I don't think he's here anymore. No, he's already gone. But there's another guy here from the same corp. So, if you see them, On multiple occasions, you could assume that they either live here or they do their mining often here, and then you can, just wait here for them next time, see what they're in, and then if they come back here and they're in something that's a viable target for you, then you can just send in some people to kill them, and but mostly killing miners is they won't drop. Well, they could drop good stuff, but most likely not in high sec. That they're gonna drop the stuff that they've mined, of course. Maybe they're gonna drop some mining crystals and the mining equipment, but it's more about making the kill. It's about making getting a nice kill mail that's high value. So this is what you can do. Of course, a lot of people these days also have moons and stuff like that. So they've got Athenors up. They mine their own moon belt. Um, so that's basically the part two of trying to find miners and to hunt them is go where their expensive ore is. So it's maybe not going to be high sec, because moons in high sec are not really that super valuable. But there's a fair amount of really cool high value moons in low sec and null sec, of course, but there's also like R64 moons in low sec. R64 moon ore is like it has the most expensive moon ore in the game. So that they'll want to, if the moon drill is operational, they'll want to mine that stuff, and you can just go there to shoot them. So how can you see what a moon has? Because most of the time only the person that has the Athenor setup can see what's in there. But we're gonna show you a little bit of a trick. If you just go to a planet, let's see, no, this is way easier. Just click on the current system and then go to orbital bodies, and then it will show you all the planets, but also all the moons, actually. And you can just right-click one of these, and we're just gonna warp to this one.
Warp drive active.
And then we have a really cool module, actually, that's gonna help us scan the contents of the moon, and that module is called a survey probe launcher. And the survey probe launcher works kind of almost in the same way as a normal probe launcher. The only thing is that, this, sends out a survey probe and it needs to be fired in the direction of the moon. Otherwise, the probe is just going to fly off into space. It's going to try and find a moon to scan, but it will never get there and it's lost. There's also a couple of different types of these survey probes. They kind of vary in how expensive they are, and that is because let me just get one of these. Oh wait, I can just put them next to each other, which is really nice. Um, they kind of differ in value because they take different amounts of time to scan the stuff. So if we're going to go to the attributes page, let's see which is the one that where the flight time is the long. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, you'll have to see this is the flight time when it's not in the module. So we're just gonna boot up the simulation window because otherwise um, it's gonna give like a false reading a little bit. So we're just gonna show you the uh, the charge info as it is in the ship itself, or at least now what I've loaded up. So that's the gaze. This is the quest, and that's the discovery. I think is this one the one? Yeah. So the quest is like The most inexpensive one, so like the cheapest, I think. It's got 9 minutes. It takes 9 minutes for it to travel to the moon, give you the info back, and once you fire it, you don't necessarily need to be in the same system. It will give you the info regardless if you leave the system, but it just takes a lot of time. Um, then you got the Discovery probe, which is a lot better. It does it in like 135 seconds on this ship, but the volume is doubled. So the other one was 5M3, this one's 10M3, and you can only like this ship only has like 190 M3, so you can only take 19 of these with you. But if you look at this system window and you look at the all of the moons that are in here, that's like more than 19 moons. So you'll have to go back to your station, grab new probes, etc. So uh, having the probes be less volume is always better, of course. Then you can take a whole lot of them with you, scan like an entire pocket of systems, and gather that intel. And then you got the most expensive one, which is the uh, the gaze survey uh, probe. Does it in just over a minute, and just 5M3. So this is it's not that really cheap. I think the gaze one is like yeah, 350 a piece. Discoveries, yeah, just a little bit under that. And then you got the Quest, which is the really cheap one, but it takes a lot of time. So how it works is, you know, we've warped to the moon. Now I've forgotten actually which moon we warped to. So we're just gonna warp to this one. Um, you know,
Warp drive
it's a
active.
it's a common mistake too. Actually, you need to remember which moon you warp to because there's so many. I've been in systems that were like 75 moons, and I had to, uh, you know, categorize them all and get that intel to our industry team to see if the moons were viable to use. So we've now warped to moon one. The way you go about this is just align to it actually. So you align to it. So we're flying towards, this one, this moon at the moment, and then you obviously need to decloak. And then you just fire off the probe. We're flying right at it at the moment, and as you can see, it fires the thing, and it just does it work. It does its work. It just now it needs like a minute or something to go there, and you can already fly off to the next one,
Warp drive
which we will.
active.
We'll just fly to the other moon and do the same thing actually. So this is kind of high sec. If you're doing this in enemy territory, then you want to, of course, cloak all the time and align cloaked, and then have your cloak off for a really brief moment, and then fire it off, and then just it's a repeat thing. It might be really boring, but this info is really, it's really valuable. And now it's
Warp
reloading.
drive
We're
active.
already, cloaking up, going to the next one. And because these probes are really quick, so it's going to give you the info really fast. But if you got the little bit more cheapish ones, so you'll have to wait a little bit longer. And once it's done, it'll uh, it'll give you uh, like a report kind of thing. I'm already gonna. Okay, this will be the last one that I'm gonna do for now. So it'll give you like a little report of what's in there. There's nothing in there. That is really surprising. Normally speaking, should just give me whatever is in the moon. Maybe one of the other ones really has something.
Warp drive active.
Maybe I'm just in the wrong system. But Normally it should just give me like a composition of what the moon's made of, actually, and it's not giving me that. Okay, well, but no, so that's how you can get all the info. You can just upload this info if it gives you info to you can just hand it over to your industry team. They'll know what to do with it. Um, but you can also like look at this and see, okay, there's valuable moon here. And if there's an athanor on one of these structures, then um, that might mean that these people are mining it. So yeah, these moons are either not so good or but oh well. So that's kind of how you can get that intel out, and you can of course also scan these things with malicious intent. Of course, you can just try and disrupt whatever it is that these people want to mine. Uh, you know, and if there's a structure on it and there are no, I don't think that there are any. No, there's no Athanors here, sadly. But if there's an Athanor on it and it's pulling in a moon chunk, you can kind of see on where the moon chunk is in distance from the moon towards the structure. You can kind of calculate when it will arrive, and if it's pulled in all the way close to the structure, then it's time for the structure owner to create the asteroid belt with the chunk. So that's kind of how you can get the intel on when they'll mine. So that's kind of haulers and miners and moons. So how do you find people that fly in expensive ships, and how you do that? So we're just gonna go and warp back to
Warp drive active.
the little fleet that we had up in a positioned up in a safe. So there's kind of like two groups here. There's people that really like to do missions or escalations or stuff like that, and that could be in but we're assuming it's going to be in high sec for now because that's easily scannable. If you're already in low sec or in null sec and you see a potential PvE ship, you don't need to scan it. You can just shoot it. We're purely talking about gathering intel for your buddies that are going to hot drop somebody in high sec and are going to gank him. So for the yeah, there's really nothing in these moons. So um, you know, this is a praxis. This is not the really this is not really a really expensive ship or anything, but it's just as a serves as an example. So same as with the mining ships actually. There's also, no, the hauling ships. People will just sit outside of locations where a lot of PvE people come in and they will just scan their ship. So you can, of course, also just target one of them and, use that ship scanner again and just run it a couple of times because we're not really seeing it. And as you can see, it just randomly gives you info. But this is a really good scan. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of stuff, but there's some Dead Space modules. There's a faction module. Maybe this guy was fully packed with officer mods or anything, and then they, okay, this Neo guy, this is somebody that we need to shoot because he has really, really expensive stuff. Um, so you can do that, and then where to go to find these people? Well, uh, PvE missions, they are like normal combat missions are graded from level 1 to 4, even upwards. Um, Loads of people do level 4 missions, and if they, get proficient in them, they want to maximize their hourly income. they'll start using more expensive ships, so they might be using faction ships, or they're gonna be gonna start using T2 battleships like the Golem or a Kronos or whatever, whatever suits their needs um, to do these sites as quickly as possible. And that's when where you come in as as your scout. You're gonna look up where these level 4 missions are. You can just, go towards the agency window actually. You can go to agents and missions, you can go to mission agents, and then you can go to security agents because that's what you're looking for. And then you can just put it to, level 4, for instance. And you can see there's, you know, level 4 missions in Osmond and all these places. And you can just, first just casually fly to these systems, see how many people are in here. I know that Osmond is a really, or at least when I was doing them, was really a popular one to do because it gives Sisters of Eve loyalty points, which in turn gives Sisters of Eve modules. And I think the Stradios too, Estero, that's stuff that's valuable to people to either obtain and sell or obtain and use actually, and it's popular stuff too. Sisters of Eve modules, they also have probe scanners, highly sought after, of course, too. So, just look at these systems, look at where a lot of people are, hang outside of these stations, scan them, see if it's anything you want, and then, give that intel to your hunters. And then, of course, if it's like if they're like using a golem, they'll probably have to use the Bastion module thing on it. Um, that kind of puts it in um, like a kind of Bastion siege-like mode, and it won't be able to warp off for uh, a specific set of time. So if you know that there's like this person uh, in a golem somewhere, you can use your D-scan. Just try and get like a oh, see, like so there's a this is good for the people that are hunting haulers or freighters. So just use your D-scan, try and see where these are, and then you will have to use uh, the combat scanner probes, or at least your hunter needs to use the combat scanner probes to pinpoint the golem, send in the entire ganking fleet, kill it, stuff like that. Um, with the incursion runners, and of course, apologies beforehand, incursion runners, it works totally different. You won't be able to shoot the incursion pilots when they are at the site, but mission runners, they'll stash their ship there, if they have like a golem, they will keep it in Osmon. They won't move it. They're comfortable with doing these sites, they're not going to move. And they're most likely going to be solo, because so you shoot the mission runners in the systems. But incursions work really differently. Incursions are like really difficult, high rewarding PvE sites that move around the map. And when you can look for them too actually. If you go to the agency and then no, they're not even here. They are in the other window. They are in the are they in the opportunities window? No, they should be here actually. Let's see. Let's go all the way back. Um, I'll have to look up where they are again. But the let's see. should be on, yeah, it should be on encounters. That's it. Sorry about that. So you open the agency window, you go to the encounters tab, and there's a really cool button here that says incursion, and that kind of gives you the all of the active incursions in the game at the moment. You know, you can filter on distance, etc. So these are here, and people are already actively engaged in, you know, shooting these NPCs. But the moment that, for instance, we're gonna look at this one, like the high sec one, because you know this is null sec, low sec. Yeah, it's gonna be iffy to, you know, get like a ganking squad in there. You you could get this intel and send it to your nullsec buddies, and you know they could get in a PvP fleet and try and kill them. People do that too, but for the purposes of this class, we're just going to assume that we want to gank them. So people are fighting in Eridon at the moment. They're already there, you know. If they're doing the incursion, it's going to be like a 30-ish man fleet. There's going to be like really beefy battleships on grid. There's going to be logistic ships on grid, you know, basilisks, scimitars. I don't know what the composition is, but you know, it's going to be T2 repair ships. You won't be able to single out one battleship and kill it because it will, you know, you'll just get alphaed off the field. So you want to catch these people when they're moving towards the next incursion. And so if you keep tabs on where these incursions keep happening, then you can kind of plot out the routes that people will use to move their really expensive ships, you know, because they'll eventually have to move them. It's not like the level 4 missions, they, you know, they stay in their place, but, you know, these incursions, they move. So it's either going to be moved, you know, with individual ships, and then you can just, you know, have those scouts above the gates again, you know, scan the incursion ships. They'll probably get spooked, but then you know you can kind of get a feel for what they have fitted, etc. And then just try and single one out and try and gank it. The other thing that incursion runners could do is that they just disassemble the ship and move it in hauling ships. They could do that too. So it's like a really big movement of expensive gear that's going from one place to the next, and you can kind of, if if you just keep tabs on where the incursions are happening, you can, you know, see and pick a system that's good enough for you to try and gank these people in, and you know, use um, the cargo scanners, use the ship scanners. They'll, you know, if you tend to start doing that, they'll know what's up and they'll either dock up and try and do it again the next day, but you know, you might get lucky. Um, So yeah, that's how you do that. The other way, what you can do with this info, you know, scanning down expensive ships, is something that I did back in the day, and I don't know if that's still a thing. I used to be in a pirate corp that would recruit people in really expensive ships, and we would, you know, we would be under the disguise of being a high tier PvE um, corporation that really did uh, top level PvE sites and um, escalations and stuff like that. So every one of us would have, you know, really expensive battleships and stuff like that as well. But our ships were not fit for PvE sites. They would, you know, purely fit for um, combat. And back in the day when I played, the option to, you know, there was a these days there was a corporation option. You can look at that. If I go to my corp, you can look on the where is it, attributes, this little thingy here. Uh, Friendly fire was not a setting back in the day, So friendly fire between corporation members was legal. And these days you can put it to illegal, but it could still be set to legal. So when, you know, if you set that to legal, you can just shoot the other player in your corporation, and it doesn't matter where you are. Concord's not going to intervene. They're just going to think, okay, it's legal. You're not doing anything wrong. Just shoot the guy. So we would, I would track down these high-profile ships. I would, preferably people that were either not in a corporation yet or, whatever. I would lure them into my corporation, and then we would say, okay, um, we're gonna do a really difficult site. Please get your golem out, and we're gonna warp to this spot, and we're gonna do the PvE site. And we did that. We warped to a spot, which was just a safe spot somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and we would tackle them, and we'd shoot them. Either we shoot them and not get a penalty from Concord, or we would just ransom them. Just give us X amount of ISK, and then we won't shoot you. So that's all kind of the stuff that you can do with this intel. It's pretty versatile. You can just gather the intel, give it to other people, or use it for yourself. You can do that. Um, Then we're gonna go off to the structures. That's gonna be really really easy actually. We're just gonna fly to
Warp
a
drive active.
Waitaru for this. I'm gonna show you what you can do with it. So, structures are into space. They get anchored by players, but they can also be shot. But you might also want to know what is fitted and stuff like that. So there's a really nice structure here. It's not mine. I can just select it, and I can use that ship scanner again, and it's totally free of, it's no penalty for doing that. You can just do that, and it tells me, okay, it has these two rigs put in at the moment. It's got the manufacturing plant, but it's not really anything else. Okay, so this is kind of undefended then, probably. We could also try
Warp drive active.
the other structure on grid here. It says that it's closed in the description. I don't know what that. Just gonna try and scan that one. Maybe that one has a fitting. Oh, this one doesn't even have rigs. So okay, but you can just get a little bit of a feel, for what is fitted to the structure. You can pass that off, and then there's a really cool feature that you can do too. Is like at the moment this thing says it's vulnerable, of course, but you can always shoot a structure if if it's a legal target. But there's like the structure's owner can set a timer, which is called the reinforcement window. And when you reinforce a structure, the owner gets to decide when the next, when the next possibility is when you can shoot it again. So if you shoot the structure, you get it to 0 shields, then the next timer is going to be in like a day-ish or something. I don't know the exact amount of time, but it's going to be like tomorrow, and then it's going to be in this and that time slot. And uh, to be able to find out what the time slot is, you can shoot it and then you know it. But if you want to know it beforehand, so that you can already plan your next offensive fleet to kill it, you can use a data analyzer. And you'll have to go through the hacking game. And, so we're going to do that right now. I normally don't really go well with these hacking games, but we're just gonna try and uh, get through them. Maybe I'll have to try it again because I'm not really good at these. see, I'm really not good at these at the moment. Uh, I'd like one of those, yes, please. Oh, that's it. We need this one. We need the red one. Hopefully I can get it. Yes. Okay, so you went through the hacking game, and this is the reinforcement window. So it's plus and minus 3 hours of 1800 Eve time. So you've got like it's a pretty rough estimate. It's a the reinforcement window is pretty rough, pretty long actually, or pretty big. But at least now you know it's going to be either somewhere there. And then you can just get that info, give it to your FC. You can do this in a low sec and null sec too, but you need to do the hacking game. So be um, um, don't linger too long there because they'll see you do it. You need to be uncloaked. You need to do the hacking game. So that's what you can get out of these structures. And then, of course, um, the pinnacle of spying and gathering intel in Eve is, of course, infiltrating in an alliance. So, how do you do that? Preferably, you do that with a character that is, clean-ish. And with clean-ish, I mean not it's not been engaged in any other previous um, spying attempts or whatever, or it's not been flagged as, hey, this is this character. It's don't recruit this character, please, because we've listed it as a spy. There's lists that get shared between alliances of people that have been, burned as spies and stuff like that. Um,
Warp drive
so
active.
use like you can use like a new character, but you need to have it build up a little bit of street cred, so to speak. So have him out in, have your character out in missions, do the career agents, do some mining, uh, you know, uh, intentionally have your ship being blown up somewhere in low sec or something, just so you build the feeling of okay, this is somebody that really wants to play the game, but he doesn't have a corporation yet, and stuff like that. So you can go about it that way, or you have um, an account somewhere lying around that hasn't seen any Eve activity, but it does have like, for instance, 15 million skill points. Then you could just log in that again, and you can say, well, I went AFK from Eve, but I'm back now. Probably you've been playing for like 10 years already. But just keep up the act, and just get in there. Things that you really should not do is like most alliances prefer, most nullsec alliances also, they require you to log in log into the auth website, which is kind of you log in on the website, um, you register your account, there's like Eve in-game data that can be pulled out from the game with tokens and stuff like that, and the website uses that to also give you info on your own character, but it also gives it to the owners of the website, of course, and then in terms gets translated into Discord roles, because the website sends the roles, your the info to Discord, and then you get roles to see the corporation channels, and it's all technical, but uh, if you go into like a serious alliance, like a big block or smaller, lots of smaller alliances have auth websites too. So, um, when stuff gets shared, like emails, stuff like that, wallet transactions, maybe contacts too. If you've got in-game contacts, you can just if you right click a pilot, you can um, where is it? Yeah, I've got it. You can add contacts. The ESI tokens, they pick that up too. If you like apply to, for instance, I don't know, Goon Swarm, and you've got a whole list of people in your contacts that are red to Goon Swarm, they might end up asking you questions about it. And if you don't give them the answers that they want to hear, then you won't get submitted into Goons, stuff like that. If you, for instance, make that really new character and you send over ISK with your main account to that new character, it's gonna show up on the transactions thing. Because if somebody gives me money now, on the transactions window, it will show you, okay, for instance, Neo has given me 1 billion ISK, and then if I look at that data, I'm like, wait, why did he give you a billion ISK? Who's that person? So you need to be really sensible about what you do. There's not a lot you can do actually that doesn't get detected. Um, the only things that don't get detected is picking up stuff from space. But then again, if one day your asset, you can also view the assets on the auth page. So um, if one day you have zero ISK assets or maybe 10 million ISK assets, and then the next day you have 5 billion ISK in assets, there is, even though it doesn't show up on the transactions window, it's still fishy. So you really need to be careful about how you go about that. It needs to be gradual. And of course, you could also uh, do it with Plex because Plex is bought on the CCP website, so that is a real life transaction. Of course, nobody's going to see if you have or have not bought the Plex or that, you've picked up the Plex from outer space because your main account dropped it for you there. That's a thing that you can do. But then still, if you like go too much overboard, it's still going to be fishy. So really be careful about which character that you want to send in to which group. And some groups also have really strict um, rules on if you when you can join or not. Some groups they will just accept new bro pilot. Other groups want that you have at least two Omega pilots, and one of them should be a carrier pilot, and the other one should be able to fly all of the doctrine ships that they've conjured up. So it's really just, you need to prepare for who you want to infiltrate. And then, of course, you need to keep up appearances too. You need to uh, have a Discord account. Doesn't necessarily have to be the one account that you always use, but you have to have a Discord account. It has to be something that you can log into and chat with people, because you need to pass by as a real member. And then, if you've got those auth roles set up, you'll go into, you can just get into the Discord. You'll get the fleet pings. You'll get a whole range of other info. Maybe people are talking about industry projects or when they are going to mine next time or whatever. That's all really cool info to have, of course, and you can use that um, either for yourself or you can, hand it off to Alliance FCs and they can do stuff with it. If you're infiltrating in like an enemy group, then you can obviously also go onto their fleets and onto their comms, and then if you are on comms with the enemy and you're also in contact with your own FCs that are in the same fight, you can feed them info. stuff like that. But you also need to be really careful about that because if you do that too many times, and they're always gonna look at the newer people that have recently joined, you know. So if, for instance, you join a couple of fleets, and those fleets go horribly wrong for, you know, the team that you've been infiltrated, that, you know, because you're sending off the info, they'll find that fishy too, and they'll start doing fleets without you, and and those fleets do go good because there's no intel being fed out, and then when you join again and the fleet goes bad again, they will be able to pinpoint you out. You know, they'll be able to point you out really quickly. So you need to be, it's like a hit and miss game a little bit. You have to be really careful about when you do stuff. It's, you know, it's not real easy to be a good spy. Um, yeah, and stuff that you can do then as well is, if you're on their off page, most of the time, the all the coalition or alliance doctrines get shared there too. So you can hand them off to your FCs. They'll know exactly what the fittings are. They can point out any weaknesses, and they can adjust their own fittings for that. So there's a whole world of intelligence and counterintelligence because, you know, all alliances and teams have counterintelligence people that try and use the auth info to try and pinpoint spies and stuff like that, kick them out. Some people make mistakes, they mess up, and they type in the wrong channels with, you know, and they give responses about things that they couldn't even know about, and you know, it's not easy. So yeah, best advice: try and lay low, you know, first, and then try and get the intel that you want, and stick there if you need be, and if you've really got what you have, then leave and you know, use either another character or use the same character and try somewhere else. Um, so yeah, and of course, this is really a really rough thing to do as well. Um, when you're in the fleet, of course, when you're in the enemy fleet, or you know, the people that you've infiltrated, you can, of course, quickly during a really major fight, drop that fleet, uh, and then join your own good guy fleet, and then the good guy fleet has the perfect warp-in spot because it can just warp the entire fleet right to your location, and and just kill the entire enemy fleet. But if you do that, then it's done. You know, that's the if you swap fleets and your your friends warp to you while you are in the spy character, then you've just burned yourself out. You know, that's that you know, you can do that, but only if you're already planning of leaving that group. But yeah, so there's a whole world of espionage and intelligence in Eve that is, of course, also really possible in real life, but in Eve you can really get away with it. And you know, the final note that I want to that I want to give to you people is, if you're really invested in um, like infiltrating a group, and you really want to see them burn for some reason. I don't know your backstory. I don't know why you want to see them suffer, but you can, then gain trust. Maybe even meet with them in real life. You know, you can do that. It's horrible, of course, but it's Eve. You can get away with it. Maybe even call them, you know, on the phone. I don't know. Um, and then if you gain their trust and you move up the ranks, then you get access to more information. And then if you invest more time and effort, then maybe you get into the higher leadership places, and then then you get into the evil line war stories of the infiltrate, the people that infiltrated like a major block and spent 5 years there getting up to the highest level, and then steal all the assets, and sign over all of the structures to another alliance, because you can do that at that point. You can just right click them and just transfer over a structure at that point, and it just poof, it's instant. There's no waiting time. It just does it. And then the ultimate thing you can do is either disband or close a corporation, but you can also disband an entire alliance actually, which has happened. Then if people went on vacation, the real alliance leaders went on vacation and stuff needed sorted, and people just waved with the hand and like, hey, I'll take care of that. Okay, well, sure. Here's the director role. Please do all the stuff. Or here's the yeah. Or yeah, this guy's he's really inactive. Can I be CEO? Yeah, sure. Stuff like that. And yeah, then you can just do stuff of that scale, like really big, famous Eve heists. You'll be part of them, and you can empty wallets. You can steal stuff from corporation hangars, or and if you get director roles in the holding corporation of the alliance, you can even kick other people and other corporations out, or you can just disband the entire alliance altogether. It's all in your hands at that point. So yeah, that's the ultimate thing. Um, yeah, so we started really small with scanning haulers to pass off that intel to gankers that are 10 jumps away and that are gonna use a couple of catalysts, shoot a guy, get 100 million profit, and do it again tomorrow, all the way up to hunting mission and incursion runners and infiltrating alliances. So that's where I want to leave it at. Yeah, it's tough business, um, being a spy. Um, oh yeah, and also if you've really met these people and you phoned them with your real phone, I would suggest getting a new cell phone number, because some people might find you in real life and beat you up. So, which is of course a bannable offense. Don't beat people up that are spies. It's just a game. It's just space pixels. If they rob you and steal you and disband your alliance, it's your fault because you should have been more careful. Sorry about that, but that's the truth. So don't go and beat people up. But yeah, um, yeah, and be safe. If you're spying, just take care of yourself. Don't rat yourself out. If you're just scanning in local, doesn't care. That nothing, nobody cares. You can just scan people. They'll probably at some point know that. Oh, that's that scout for that group. At that point, you could just take another character, or you could just keep using the same one. It doesn't really matter. You just need the intel. But yeah. So yeah, have fun. Just go out there, try stuff. It's unconventional Eve stuff. Still really cool to do. Might get boring at times, might get a bit tedious, but you could just do it, and then you can say that you've tried everything in Eve Online, which is a really tough thing to do, actually. Um, are there any more questions? You can either just type them in the chat, or you can ask them on voice comms, either.
No, that's quite a lot of information to process.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I don't have more questions. I need to probably watch the VOD again and have a second go at it as well.
Yeah, I'm always here on the eFookie server, so you can just send me a direct message on Discord. We can do that. I'll of course maybe not give away all the secrets, but I think I've given away quite a couple of them. So yeah, and remember, just you can If you're not careful, they'll find you. They'll kick you out. They'll put you on that naughty list, the list of people that are spies. You'll have to make a new account.
Yeah,
Um,
fair.
yeah. Um, Thank you all very much. Gonna stop recording now.